Ladies and gentlemen of the Arrowverse, welcome to my Crisis on Infinite Earths Q&A, I guess. So I asked you guys to ask me a bunch of questions, whether it's about the crossover so far, what I think could happen in the final 2-hour finale, and a whole bunch of other things. And I'm guessing by the time I'm uploading this, it is Christmas Eve, so I don't think I'll have another video out for you in the next couple of days. So yeah, Merry Christmas to each and every one of you who's watching this. I know Q&As aren't like the most popular videos, but you know what I mean. For those of you who are watching this right now, Merry Christmas, seriously. Thanks for a great year on the channel, and I just hope to continue doing what I'm doing in the comic book nerdy space for the whole of next year, and you know, let's just see what happens. But honestly, without turning this into a whole other video, and as cliche as it sounds, I'm really grateful, and I just hope you guys have enjoyed the ride on this channel with whatever I've been doing from time to time, and yeah, here's to next year, and here's to this video. So I know there's quite a lot of questions I've screenshotted. I might not get to every single one of them just because I do talk for quite a while about each question, but I'll try and get through as many as I can. And if I can't get through all of them, considering you guys asked quite a few questions, I might do a part 2 to this, because it's just always fun to talk about what's going on in Crisis, what I thought or what I think could happen. And you know, you guys can get involved down in the comments as well. But also, you know, if you want to talk to me over the Christmas break, where there's not as much YouTube stuff going on, not as much stuff in the space of the comic book DC fandom and stuff like that, whether it's the shows, the movies and whatnot, you can join my Discord server. The link to my server invite will be in a top pinned comment. As always, would be great to see more of you there. Other than that, I do have social media. Follow me on Twitter and stuff, but this is turning into a whole other video, so let's get into the Q&A. As he opens his Coke, because I need Coke to keep me alive, caffeine-wise, and stuff like that. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you go on to enjoy this video, leave me a Christmas present by just clicking that like button. Just in case you enjoy the video, just leave it there. Why not? It's a little Christmas present to me. First question's from Adam Grunt, and he asks, do you think we'll see the Kingdom Come Superman come back to help the team take down the Anti-Monitor? I hope so. I want him to come back, but I've got a bad feeling about this, so to speak, because, you know, I don't think the trailers have shown everything about that 2-hour part finale, but what we did see is, you know, the Paragons, and kind of a little tease of the Spectre against the Anti-Monitor, and, you know, Lex Luthor was still in Brandon Routh Superman's place. So I don't know. Maybe after everything is fixed, we might get him back, but maybe not. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I would love for that to happen. Question 2 from L Train. What do you think the Reverse Flash's involvement is in Part 2 of Crisis? I would really love to know. And a lot of people are getting a bit apprehensive about that, because we all love Eobard Thornius. You know, whether that's Matt Letcher's Eobard Thorne, Tom Cavanagh's. I think it's safe to say it could be Tom Cavanagh's. You never know. They might have got Matt Letcher in, but I kind of doubt it. And as a role for him anyway, I think Crisis on the CW is going quite different. Things have already gone differently. Not that I didn't expect that, because, you know, it's not all copy and paste from the comics, and they do it relative to what they can do. But in terms of the Reverse Flash's involvement, I would have thought we would have kind of seen him already. But I really hope they are really going to pack him in with a punch in the part 4 and 5. However, I don't know if it's going to be a lot of screen time. I don't think it's even necessarily going to reflect the newspaper with him leading an army of shadow demons. And it's just got me perplexed, as well as, like, you know, are they really, because of the timeline's changed so much over the years, are they really going to go with Barry going back in time with him, like, fighting each other in the the Allen household, if you will? I don't necessarily think so. So, you know, the thing about Crisis on Infinite Earths, even though you do get some villains who are fairly interesting and don't care about stuff like this, but, you know, their world is in danger as well. So it would be interesting to see, just kind of in the comic booky way, but I don't want to get too deep into that, because you never know, spoilers and stuff with certain characters, but villains would kind of want to help out in that situation as well. And, you know, the Reverse Flash, there's not much in it for him if he allows Crisis to go forth. So, I don't know. I think he's going to have to help out. H. Chowky asks, the CW has talked about Crisis being a game changer for the Arrowverse in the future. What do you think this change will be? Like, the comics, only a few episodes will remain. Do you think they will also change the format, number of episodes each season, and the aesthetics of the show as well? Not necessarily, but maybe in a way. That doesn't really make much sense. So, yeah, it's a big game changer because that within itself, we're going to have Earths merging. I don't know if they're going to go so much the Infinite Crisis route just yet, even though I think they're playing some of that story into Crisis, like blending a bit of the two already. But as for the changes on the scale of what you're saying, like, all of a sudden the aesthetics for the show might drastically change, or maybe the number of episodes and actual real repercussions like that, I don't think it's going to have terraforming differences on the Arrowverse just because Crisis happened in that way. That doesn't mean, though, because one thing that does make me think of what you just said there is that, for example, the Green Lantern show, that's going to have a huge budget and everything like that. This isn't confirmed, but there's been whispers that this could still very much so be in the Arrowverse. And if that was the case, it would feel like such a I don't want to put this in the wrong way, but more of a prestigious show of quality, if that makes sense. Not that the Arrowverse shows don't have their quality, but you get what I'm trying to say. It will feel kind of a bit, not so much of a jigsaw match in terms of like the quality of the other Arrowverse shows. At the very least, yeah, Earths will merge, 38 would be on Earth 1 and all those kind of things, but then again, some more Earths might come back. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how the CW truly conclude this, because, for example, they've already got rid of every single Earth already, but behind the scenes formatting and aesthetics of shows I expect to remain the same. I don't think it'll be that drastic, So Naveen Thampi asks, hey Bobo, I've got two questions. Will some Earths, mainly Earth 1, Earth 38, and Earth 73 Black Lightning, merge? Or just bring them back as it were? Well, that's what we're kind of just talking about. I expect Earths to merge because of, what happens. But then again, as I said, you could have a whole bunch of Earths gone and yet a couple remaining. So I expect them mainly to merge. And will Kingdom Come Superman die? Or will he be transported to another dimension with a resurrected Lois similar to Earth 2 Superman from the comics? That's a very, very interesting theory there. In terms of Earth 2 Superman, we've already lightly discussed this, but I would like him to come back. But then again, I said I had a bad feeling about it, so it would be quite poetic if he got to spend his time in, as you said, like that Superboy did, kind of got to go to that paradise dimension, that place, seemingly where Oliver might be with whatever, this is something within itself, a whole big question a lot of people are asking at the minute, with Mar-Novu gone right now, how does Felicity go through that portal in the future? Like, that's a whole confusing thing. And is that the same place or the Arrowverse's version of where these heroes could belong or something like that? I expect it to be something along, pulled from that vein in the comics. All I can say is I would like him to come back. But if he doesn't actually come back in terms of, he's got his own self back from the Book of Destiny rewrite that Lex Luthor did, I would like something like this to be added into it. If he isn't actually coming back permanently, I would like him to be written off in a way that you just said, like where he gets to go be with Lois or something like that. That'd be really sweet. So the next question's from Wally West himself, and he asks, do you think the Titans cameo means anything or is just an Easter egg? I would say more of an Easter egg. But it was a cameo at the end of the day. They were in Crisis, which means, on the infinite amount of parallel realities and universes, they would technically fall there. I don't think it means solidified in our real world that, oh my god, this means the Titans are in the Arrowverse, so they're gonna completely always cameo and do crossovers and stuff like that. No, this is what I mean. Technically, fact-wise, on paper, you could put them in the Arrowverse, but I wouldn't ever say it's to the extent of where I would almost say they aren't, and that would never mean that they would, crossover in the way you think. Just how you wouldn't get Michael Keaton's Batman crossing over with some of the Arrowverse shows. It's kind of more of an Easter egg. That's the way I view it anyway. Next question is from Akeem Dukes, and she asks, do you think by the end of the Crisis all Earths are going to merge together? We've kind of already answered this. I would say so, yes. Or at least some will be attempting to merge, but I think, it will conclude in that way. At least that would be the way I want it to go. I prefer it to be more on one bold, fell swoop of a conclusion with just one Earth. I would love that. I kind of like all the continuity of all the heroes not being scattered. Like, for some reason, where's the Kara on Earth 1? But nope, she's on Earth 38. Same with Superman. I prefer it to be like, oh, they come over to Earth 1, Black Lightning comes over to Earth 1. It's the way it's meant to be. That's the way I like it anyway. I think most people would prefer that. My second question is, do you think we'll ever get a Ginger Wally West on the Flash by, maybe all the Earths merging, or if just not another Earth? I think the last part of your question there is just wishful thinking. I would love that. Trust me, I would love that. But I just don't think that's going to happen. And do I have a good reason for why? Not really. I just don't see the Arrowverse doing that. I think they're going to stick to their Keenan Lonsdale. I feel like what they ever did or wanted to do with the Flash, the Kid Flash character is what it is now. And you have a person who isn't going to be fully committed, because I don't think Keenan Lonsdale was like that with the Flash. Even though he's coming back to season 6 this year for a couple of appearances, I don't think they're just going to flip him out for like Ginger Wally West, even with Crisis in mind. So that'd be cool, but you know what I mean. Slade Joseph Wilson asks, do you think that the last 2 hours of Crisis will introduce new characters like villains or heroes for particular shows? So do you mean like with the Flash, they've got a second half villain? Do you mean introduce the second half's villain for the Flash? Or do you just mean like new villains and heroes just for like a whole new book for the shows to use after this? Maybe. I don't necessarily think so. So in both cases, actually, no. I don't think we're going to see the Flash's second half villain, for example, turn up in this Crisis crossover finale, and then like that's going to have to be resolved in the Flash. Same with Supergirl, whatever they're doing, and other shows. So I don't think they're going to introduce some new characters, or should I say just villains, and they're going to be added to this catalog for all the shows, to pull from in future seasons. Maybe 1 or 2, but I would be surprised. However, you do say heroes as well. And I think they're going to get Stargirl. I could be wrong about this, but I swear I've heard since the Stargirl is full on CW now, she will be making an appearance in the finale part of the Crisis crossover, just so that it can segue into her own show. Could be wrong about that, but actually that's a perfect answer for your question. So maybe Stargirl will be one of those new characters or heroes that we could see, to merge into the future of the shows. So Xena Wolf Shiro asks, in all of the multiverse there are 7 Paragons, and now with what happened with Lex Luthor, all 7 of them are both from Earth 1 and Earth 38. What are the chances? Kind of angry frustration expression of an emoji. So yeah, I know what you mean. And I think this is why the crossover can be a bit lackluster for a lot of people. Because, obviously this isn't real criticism, because, you have to like deal with the expectations or the reality of what this crossover can do, which means limitations of the show, limitations of certain characters. But in all reality, with this DC universe, this is why technically for some people, I don't think this crossover can work that well, just because the CW can't give the scope to it to its full potential. And that's fine for some people. They don't care about that. And for some other people, fair enough to them. They think that maybe it should have more. So what I'm getting on here with in relation to this comment is that out of a whole range of infinite universes, you could have got a Batman that was, fully in his heroic days, and they could have recruited him. You could have got Wonder Woman. You could have got Green Lantern. Yes, you're right. All of them happen to be from just Earth 1 or Earth 38, or technically you could argue like Black Lightning, etc., etc. But yeah, it's insanely limited. And, you would have Aquaman, you would have Wonder Woman there, you would have a Batman. It wouldn't just be Batwoman out of the whole range of infinite universes. You would quite literally have an infinite amount of decent Batmen, for example, unlike Kevin Conroy's Dark version. It's a fact. I'm telling you, there will be a Batman out there who is the most heroic one that could be on the Wave Rider. But they can't do that. They can't do it. So yeah, that's the limitation I think some people can't shake. Even though this isn't really an answer to your question, I think I picked this out because it's just interesting to talk about this anyway. For some people, they're absolutely fine with the way the crossover's going. I give them kudos for what they're doing, but at the same time, it can never really reach the full potential of what it is, just because they can't. They just can't do it. But, I'm still appreciating it for what it is. But yeah, I get the other people who just can't really be that into it because it has a ceiling that it can't really break through. Sil Boasma asks, why did they write Brandon Routh / Christopher Reeve Superman out? Wasted opportunity, in my opinion. So I'm not going to get too deep into this. I've been into this I will leave it in the cards above. I did a responding to your comments video. So I went over each part 1, part 2, part 3 of the Crisis crossover reviews I did, and I just read out random comments and gave my opinions on them. And one of them, or quite a few of them in part 3, since what happened with Lex and Brandon Routh Superman, a lot of people felt how I felt, like screw Lex, like we would have rather Brandon Routh Superman. Personally, I'm not a fan of the Lex Luthor, John Chrysler Lex. I've seen way more than enough of him to make my own opinion that I don't really You know, nothing against John Cryer, I just don't dig his Lex. Just how some people would think this actor shouldn't be this character, it's that kind of thing. So with that, it is kind of a wasted opportunity. I guess he did have quite a bit of screen time, Routh Superman, but we wanted more. And for all we know, this is the end of his character. It very well might not be, because he could come back after, I don't know, in part 4 or 5, but I agree. Why did they do it though? I don't know why they did it, to be honest. Maybe it's because they already had a Kryptonian on the team, being Kara, and they just wanted to have Lex Luthor there. But I still disagree with it, just probably like you do. Next question is from Redline TTV. Are you surprised, as I am, that Psycho Pirate hasn't made an appearance yet after setting him up in Elseworlds and him being a big part in the comics? So yeah, Psycho Pirate and the Anti-Monitors relationship is quite an interesting one in the comics, and even like the repercussions after Crisis on Infinite Earths with Psycho Pirate is, I don't want to get fully too deep into this just in case they do bring him in part 4 and 5, but this is what I mean about the CW's crossover version. You would have thought with Psycho Pirate he would have already been involved, just considering the arc he has in the comics, so, and I don't know if they are going to bring him in. I feel like Psycho Pirate would have, you know, unless they're just going to cast like a decent, half-decent TV actor, put the face in a mask, you know, unlike Elseworlds, I'm pretty sure he was just masked the whole time. No, he wasn't. Unless they bring him back either way, which I don't know if I feel like they're going to do. Maybe they just might skip over it. He might just be like, oh, it happened in the background somewhere. But, you know, in all reality, it's kind of what I keep saying. Like, this crossover is fairly different. We have like, 8, 9 people on the poster, and that is basically the amount of people who are saving the multiverse here. It's not really Crisis, even though it's doing everything it can to be Crisis, and maybe this is just a penalty of that. Alex Barron asks me, do you think the Gotham characters will make an appearance? Very good question. I'm not going to say never, I'm going to say never, because I would have said no before, but they're still filming some cameos, I believe, or at least they were, for part 4 and part 5. It is so easy to just kind of edit and squeeze that in for a cool little thing, so I believe they are going to keep trying to do stuff like that with certain, you know, roles like they already have brought in. And I've been asked this a lot. And as for Gotham, I don't know. They could. And I think that's what I could say. Before I would have been like, but, you know, Bruce Wayne's going to be younger. And it's not like they're going to use the Batman at the end of Gotham. But then again, even if they did show a Bruce Wayne of when he was younger, they could just say in that Earth he's at that point in time. That it's set in whatever, where Bruce is young and he's in Batman. Or they could just get another character in like Edward Nygma and the Penguin in the city with Batman already out there at the end of Gotham. That would be cool. But I really don't know. Do I think they'll do it? Your guess is as good as mine. Slade Joseph Wilson asks, when do you think the Arrow spin-off will take place? The present or the future? I believe Mark Guggenheim has solidified that answer and said it is a Star City 2040 spin-off show. So it's not going to be set in the present day like a lot of people are theorizing, and they kind of preferred to have Mia maybe still in the present day somehow out of her own time and preventing the Star City of the future. But apparently it is going to be the Star City of the future that the Green Arrow and the Canary show will be set in. What do I think of that? Don't really care about it right now. Just being bluntly honest, I don't care about that show right now. I mean, if I see something and I think, oh my god, that looks great, but premise of it, everything like that, not so down with it. Just because the characters, the cast, not so big on it. But, you know, I'm going to reserve judgment purely, and if I'm wowed away by the trailer, then fair enough. But not a big fan. But I'm going to have to end this video here. There's a bunch of... Well, I'll answer one more. Paul Phillips says, do you think we'll see Tom Welling or Kevin Conroy again? I don't think so. There's been a whole bunch of questions like, have you heard about the 3 Supermen thing? I don't necessarily think that means Tom Welling's going to suit up. I think Tom Welling's scenes are already filmed. I don't think it goes beyond the Kent farm. I'll hold my hands up if I'm wrong about that, but I don't think we're going to see Tom Welling again. As for Kevin Conroy, same answer. I think they've done his scenes and they've spent him. Much to some people's debate, but I think that is that. I don't think they're gonna do anything different with him. And one more question from I Have an Idea. I'm lost on the current status of Oliver's body. He died, his body was revived by the Lazarus Pit, they went to recover his soul from purgatory and he decided to go with the Spectre. Didn't that leave his soulless body alive, possibly with no memories? Technically, yeah. I think behind the scenes he does and has got his soul back, but so that will go back into his body, but he's also accepted the mantle of Spectre. So that body of Oliver is running around with the soul, but he's now graduated and evolved into Spectre as well. So he's already doing his like godly power kind of thing anyway. So yeah, I get how maybe you're reading into like a plot hole. It's like, oh yeah, what about the body, or like the soulless body of Oliver that they've just, you know, I don't know, gone, they're just back on the Wave Rider now, and they're like, Dad's not going to come back or whatever. No, I think behind the scenes, he's got his soul back, he's accepted that, but he's also accepted becoming Spectre, so now he's just floating around in those little robes and doing his own little thing till he helps everyone. But no, it's not as dramatic as, he's got a soulless body, no memories, and Oliver is running off like a rabid, wild Oliver. Anyway, everyone, I hope you kind of enjoyed this quick Crisis Q&A, blabbly, talky, discussion-y video. If you did, well, first of all, let me know your thoughts on everything I discussed in today's video, question-wise. It's great to just hear your thoughts on what I had to say about this stuff, because, you know, as I said, I don't know everything for a concrete answer. We still have yet to see the crossover. Of course, everyone, go ahead and like this video if you did enjoy it. I will be doing another video over the next few days, obviously after Christmas. I think there is another Crisis, couple of quick promo trailers coming out. Whenever they'll be released, I will cover them. But other than that, everyone, I hope you have a great Christmas. Enjoy your holidays. Videos will be resuming some when. I'm not going anywhere, but understandably, I'm probably not going to have videos for a few days, something like that. I know you will get it anyway. Just wanted to put it out there. But if you want to talk to me in between those days, you can join my Discord server. As always, link is at the top pinned comment of the comment section down below. It'd be great to see you there. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you people of the multiverse in the next video. Goodbye.